Hey guys, welcome to Not So Random Chat, the nighttime live stream where we talk about whatever we want to. So, settle in and grab you a libation. It could be your wine or tea or coffee or whatever you want to drink. And let's just sit back and chill. I'll be with you in a moment. Are you guys ready? Okay, well, so am I. So let's get into it. Here I come. Hola! From the west side. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody is doing well. Please like and share. And I will be on camera in just one moment. Hey, TC. So, there's a couple of things. I don't know why this thing is here. I gotta fix this later. Wait 1 second, you guys. This thing is just losing it. Wait 1 second. Alright, I think I got it back to where I was. Alright, I'm just leaving it right there. Okay. I'm about to come on camera. I was distracted, sorry. Hey! Happy Wednesday. Wednesday night. And I know it might be Thursday for some of you guys. So I hope everybody's had a great day. I hope if you've had a chance, you were able to take a look at my latest upload. Today I dropped a RT Autism Mom Chronicles that was a Women's History Month spotlight on the first National Youth Poet Laureate, Amanda Gorman. So if you haven't seen it, take your time to go take a look at that after you finish watching this, of course. And I think you'll enjoy it. You know, it just gives a little history of her. It's really, really short because she's a baby. She's a baby. She was born in 1998. She's younger than my son. So, yeah. You know, it's giving a brief bio on her. And a lot of the information I got from her own website, AmandaGordon.com. AmandaGordon.com. So tonight I am drinking, and this is some orange juice. We're drinking orange juice tonight. That's what we're drinking tonight. So we have juice tonight. Okay. And I've been drinking milk today. You know, I got some of the lactose-free milk. Still has vitamin D because even though I'm taking, you know, vitamin D supplements, I know I need to up my vitamin D. Gotta up the vitamin D. You know, FYI, melanated folk, the darker you are, the more, you know, you need to make sure that you're getting vitamin D, because darker skin, it's harder for our skin, even with the cholesterol, you know, cholesterol that our body produces, to absorb vitamin D from the sun, from natural sunlight, by natural means. Unfortunately, you know, that's kind of, and it was more of a protection for us, you know, from the area of, you know, the world that our ancestors came from, because they had that hot sun on them, and so the darker skin was to protect them. But now that we live in all different climates of the world, we need that vitamin D. Hey, Miss Mahogany, we need that vitamin D. So, you know, I know a lot of us do not like to drink milk. I don't like to drink milk. I don't like to drink milk. I don't know when I got out of it, but yeah, you know, as we get older, we don't like to drink milk. You know, almond milk is good. You know, rice milk is good. Soy milk is good. You know, and then the lactose-free cow's milk. You know, as long as it's got the vitamin D in there. You know, we can get it through our food, but it's not enough. So, I mean, we literally need to be drinking milk, getting some sunlight, taking a vitamin D supplement, and then also eating foods rich in vitamin D. I don't know why I just needed to say that, but I just needed to say that. Because the orange juice that I'm drinking has vitamin D in it. You know, when they pasteurize it, they put vitamin D. They're trying to get us to get the vitamin D to you any way they can, because most people, well, in this country, it's about 40% of the population, but most melanated people in this country, Black people, I'm speaking to you, Latino people, I'm speaking to you, we have the highest proportion of vitamin D deficiency. And if you need to know exact stats, go take a look at my daily thoughts on vitamin D. And I break it down for you for the United States. Hey, Tutu. So, yeah. So, you know, calcium, yeah, calcium is so important for us as women. See, here's the thing. The vitamin D, the reason why we need the vitamin D is, you know, most of us women, if we have had a child and we breastfed, they done took a lot of our vitamin D out of us, and you know, and you need the vitamin D to keep your bones, the bones, from being brittle. It keeps your bones strong, keeps your teeth strong, all of that. So that's one of the things. And most dentists will tell you that you need to have, you know, vitamin D in your diet, you know, to keep, you know, the pearly whites. As we grow older. So hopefully you guys did see what I posted on my community tab. I know how crazy it is with YouTube posting things, but part of what I want to talk about tonight is going to be the Netflix documentary, Tell Me Who I Am. But before I get to that, I'm going to talk about a couple of other things, because that particular document is really deep, and I kind of want to do it justice in the time that I'm on here. So let me, before I go into that, hopefully everybody has noticed hopefully you guys have noticed that I have changed my channel banner. My channel banner, like for the last 2 years, has been, you know, the one that's got this big, huge autism, and then it's got these little purple flowers in the background. You know, it says, and it said the Autism Mom Chronicles. All of that was in there. So that channel banner is gone. I have now put up a channel banner that says, you know, Autism Life and Lifestyle, because that's really what my channel is about. Yes, I do do, you know, the chronicles of an autism mom, but that's really autism life and part lifestyle too. In that, I don't solely talk about autism on my channel. I talk about me, and you know, so I just felt that would be, this is, you know, my channel has elevated to not just being, you know, Chronicles of Autism Mom. So, and I got this beautiful background. Shouts out to Canva. You know, a book opened with roses across it on a bed with sunshine shining into the window. I know you can't see all of that if you look on my channel, but if you go to my community tab, I posted a picture of it so you can see the entire thing, not just, you know, the little portion that you can see in the channel art. So I hope you guys like, you know, that. I think that it gives it a lighter feel, and it also reflects my maturity, because, you know, I'm not the mother of a child on the spectrum. I'm the mother of an adult on the spectrum. And so my autism life is different from someone who has a child. And what I'm showing is what life is when they're adults, if they're still with you, and, you know, things that you have to do. I am going to take some pointers that I got on building a non-subscriber audience to this channel, because I really want to get more people in here. So one of the things that I'm going to do, and I've already done this with the daily thoughts, as you know, the visual kind of tells a story that kind of goes along with whatever it is that I'm talking about. So what I'm going to do with some of my Autism Mom Chronicles is, instead of you just having to sit there and watch me try to be animated when I'm giving you guys the information, I think that what I'm going to do on one of my upcoming videos to see if this works is that it's going to be more of a story. So you're going to see a visual story of what I'm saying, you know, in that. Like, for example, if I do a video on things that I do to get my son to talk to me, then what I would do is have videos showing scenes that are similar to what it is that I'm talking about in the video, so that it's kind of like a storyboard of my subject matter, if that makes sense. Anyway, so I hope you guys will be excited with some of the changes, you know, that I'm going to be making with those particular videos, because I've already made those changes pretty much with the videos that are the daily thoughts for the coffee talk. And it's not that I'm going to be pushing my Autism Mom Chronicles to voiceovers. It's just that there's going to be ones where it's going to be voiceovers. King David just came in the room. It's not ready yet, son. It's still got like 6 more minutes. Sorry, making lasagna. Lasagna takes a while to cook when it's frozen. When it's frozen. Y'all know sometimes, y'all know how sometimes it takes me a while to get food on the table. This is one of those days. It's just one of those days. But why are we in the refrigerator? Okay, yeah, get that and get out. Thank you. And see, stop putting fingerprints all over my refrigerator. You're driving me nuts with that. I'm gonna have to go back there and clean it all off again. Y'all can't see them. Drives me nuts. It's like every day. I'm cleaning every day. Cleaning it, you know. Stainless steel is nice, but you're constantly freaking cleaning it for fingerprints. All right, I'm gonna stop. Okay, you guys. So, as I said, I hope you guys are gonna like, you know, some of the modifications, you know, and I know that my subscribers, you know, like the way that I'm doing things, but I want to tailor my message so that I can get more people who aren't looking, who don't see my little channel, and so that YouTube will see my little channel when I'm talking about really good, you know, subject matter, but I got to make it more entertaining when I'm doing those things. See what I'm saying? Because that's really what we have to do. So that's part of what I'm going to be doing. Let me see. What are these things doing? These are still on. Okay. Okay, I think I stopped them. Yeah, I did. All right, let me turn this down. Turn it down. Because I'm also in the chat room with my phone. All right, so now I want to talk about Tell Me Who I Am, the documentary on Netflix. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit on this one. Because, yeah. There we go. Just turn it down a little bit. Okay, so Tell Me Who I Am is a documentary that is on Netflix right now. It has won multiple awards at several film festivals in Europe. It is about twin brothers. One of the brothers has a motorcycle accident at the age of 18. And after the motorcycle accident, his helmet comes off during the accident, and so his head hits the ground, and he has some brain damage, which leaves him with complete amnesia, except for one thing. The only thing that he knew when he came out of the coma was that he was a twin. He had a brother. His brother was the only person he recognized that he knew. And they are identical twins. So that's probably, you know, why that stayed with him. He didn't recognize his mother. He didn't recognize his father. He didn't remember anything that had happened during the first 18 years of his life. And so he didn't know anybody else, didn't recognize anybody else. So the only person who he trusted was his twin brother, because he knew, if nothing else, because they had shared the womb together and that they were identical, that he was the person he could trust to tell him everything. So his brother told him about his life before age 18 based on questions that he asked, pictures that he saw. You know, he just took everything that his brother said as fact. His brother painted their childhood as kind of an aristocratic, normal kind of life. One second, you guys. let me do this. 1 second. I need to say, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I hate that happened right there. But I am going to I'm going to go off camera for a second. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Give me a second, sir. It's got to cool anyway, so you're not going to be able to get it. It's got to cool. Yeah, you're going to have to let it cool. Okay? So just let it cool. And now, I'll get some out of it for you. All right, you guys, sorry about that. If D comes downstairs, then we'll do it. But just give me a few minutes because I don't want you to go in there while it's too hot. Okay? It's still too hot. All right, sorry you guys had mom-son conversation about the lasagna. It's too hot. He can't plate it up yet. He's got to let it cool. And while we're letting it cool, I'm gonna finish talking about the brothers. Before I forget, their names are Alex and Marcus. I don't know if the documentary says their last name. If it did, I forgot. So his brother, the one who lost their memory is Alex. Marcus is the one who knows everything, and so that's the one who's being relied on. So Marcus paints, this pretty picture of their childhood based on pictures and just based on the questions that his brother asked him. And his brother takes everything that he says as fact and goes on with his life until their mother and father die. Their father dies first, and he still continues on. And then after the mother dies, wait a minute, let me roll back. The father dies first. When the father dies, he asks his sons to forgive him. Alex doesn't know what his father's asking him to forgive him for. The Marcus tells his father that he will never forgive him because his father was dying and this was his last wish. Alex didn't understand why Marcus wouldn't grant their father's last wish. In the documentary, Marcus says that he felt nothing and he wasn't going to forgive him. He didn't even say what he was asking for forgiveness for. Okay? So I'm telling you all of this because I have to give you all of this background before I can go into my commentary on it. And even with me telling you this, you're still going to want to go see this documentary. I'm telling you. it's riveting. So they continue on their lives after the dad dies. They still live at home. One of the things that goes on is that the twins do not sleep in the house. They sleep in this little, I don't know, garage, barn, something, and they don't have keys to the house. Even though they're grown men, they don't have keys to the house, and they're only allowed in the house when their parents say they can come in. So when the dad dies, they think that this is going to change. They thought that the father was the one who was imposing this rule. But when the father dies, the mother enforces it even stronger and still won't let them to come in the house. So roll forward to their 30s. They're like around 32. The mother finally dies. After the mother dies, they go through the house, clearing out things, finding things. One of the things that they find is that they find money stitched into bedding, stitched into curtains, all over the house. Tons and tons of money. When they reach the attic, they find all these Christmas presents and birthday presents and all kinds of presents that were given to them as children that they never got, all still wrapped in everything, just shoved up in the closet. Then they go and they clear out their mother's room. And as they're clearing out their mother's room, they go into her closet, and they go to the back of her closet and find a hidden cabinet at the back of her closet that requires a key. They get the key, they open it up, and it's got a lot of pictures and stuff in it. And then among those pictures is a picture of them when they were children with no clothes on, and their heads have been cut off the picture. Now, keep in mind that Alex doesn't remember his childhood. He only remembers what his brother has told him, which is a rosy childhood, okay? They were well off. Everything was wonderful. At this point, Alex is confused. He's confused by the fact that he found all these presents up in the attic. He's confused by the fact that there's a nude picture of them as children. So what happens is that the two brothers then have a conversation. And Alex, the twin who doesn't remember their childhood, finds out from his brother. He asks his brother, did their mother abuse them as children? And his brother says yes, and says nothing else, tells him nothing else in regards to that until they are in their mid-50s, which is when this documentary was done. So for 30 years, one of these twins does not know what happened to them when they were children, and the other twin does, but won't tell him. And that's what this documentary is about, because the one twin, Alex, does not know who he really is without this information. and he spends the majority of his adulthood trying to find out this information. The only person who could give this information to him was his sibling, because everybody else was dead. And what he finds out is that their mother M-worded them as youngsters, and then she passed them around to her friends. And so both of these men, as children, were R-worded repeatedly from the age of 5 to about 14. And it only stopped because Marcus, the twin who remembers everything, finally said no more. He said no to one of the people he was passed around to, because when they passed them around, when the parent passed them around, she split them up so they weren't both being R-worded at the same time. They took turns because, you know, they're identical twins. And one twin knew this for 30 years and one twin did not. And the reason that he couldn't tell his brother was because he couldn't deal with it himself. He couldn't deal with the fact that their mother had done that to them. And then when the brother was in the motorcycle accident, when Alex was in the motorcycle accident and they came back home, she acted like a completely different person, you know. And so he began to to accept the lie that he told his brother and made that his truth as well. But he knew that once he told his brother the truth about what their childhood really was, that his brother, well, he was going to have to handle it. And he had not been able to handle it. He didn't know how to articulate. And he had told his brother this lie, first of all, because he didn't think that his brother could handle it right after coming out of a coma, and also for selfish reasons, so that he didn't have to relive the trauma. So for 30 years, this one brother did not really know who he was, because how he had built his whole life was based on what his brother told him their lives had been as children. And instead of it being what it really would have been if he'd have told them the truth, they would have both probably been in therapy in their 20s, and now in their 50s would have been mentally healthy men. But because the one brother carried the burden of knowing that all that time and not sharing that with his twin, there was a rift between them, because they were best friends, they were roommates, they did everything together. I mean, they, during this entire time of the one twin not knowing, the brothers lived near each other and worked together. And the one brother was holding this huge, horrible secret. But basically what happened is their mother groomed them and then passed them around to her friends when she was done. And, you know, this is so triggering for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people dealt with M-word as children. And the crazy thing about this particular story is, you know, do you think that Marcus was right in not telling his brother the truth? Do you think that he was right, or do you think that what he did was really out of love? What do y'all think? I mean, you know, it's crazy. I mean, these men, I mean, you're not going to be able to watch the documentary without crying. You know, these were, I mean, when they did this, they're in their mid-50s. So all of this stuff happened to them in the 60s and 70s. No, because if they're in the mid-50s, it would have been in the 70s, because that means they were born in the late 60s. So they were born in the late 60s. So during the 70s, the mid-70s to the mid-80s, because this happened for 10 years. For 10 years. From the age of 5 to about 14. 10 years. Can you even imagine? And can you even imagine what it took for the one twin to keep all of that inside of him and to keep up the charade with his brother by just not divulging the complete truth of what happened? And the issue is that I think over the years, as Alex was living his life without having that complete memory of the childhood, I believe he was starting to get some of those memories back, but he didn't know if he was remembering what really happened, or if he was only remembering things that his brother told me. He didn't know what was real. And he knew that it was bad. Hey, Riot Girl. But he had no idea that it was as bad as it was. 10 freaking years, you guys. And this happened in the UK, in England. And I believe their father was a duke. Now, the mother is the one who did all of this stuff to them. But the father had to know. And I have to wonder, if she was doing this with her, messing with her children. She was messing with her children, but she was also with adult men. She had apparently multiple, you know, friends outside of her husband. She was in, it seemed like, you know, it was all about that for her, all about sex for her. And how could her husband not know? And what did they not have, the normal, married life? Because I believe that the father did know. And the father didn't care as long as he didn't have to deal with it in that way. That's what I think. Crazy. It made me so sad because there are so many people in this world who go through life living with secrets like that of being touched as a child, and part of what she did, she not only touched them, she made them touch themselves for her. And when they would go out to people, the whole dynamics, all of this happened to them before they were, before they were 15 years old. If you can watch it and not be triggered, I would say watch it, because my telling about it is not doing it justice. It is amazing that these men turned out, as not, in a mental house as they could have been with what had happened to them, especially the brother who knew the whole time, who never had the luxury of having lost his memory because of an accident. Yeah, Nightbot be on some stuff, and you know what? I've been trying to disable that freaking thing. I'm still trying to figure out how to get rid of Nightbot. Nightbot is a pain in the butt. A freaking pain in the butt. But yeah, the name of the documentary is Tell Me Who I Am. I think it's like maybe an hour and 20 minutes long. The mother side of the family, see, that's the thing. They don't talk about anybody outside of their family, their mother and their father. They, we know that there's some weird stuff that goes on in Europe and in the UK. I mean, unfortunately, I hate to say this, we're considered prudes in our views on all types of things in regards to sex in the United States. But this ain't right. And the scary thing is that there are people in this country and in other countries who are trying to normalize. They're trying to normalize things, with people under the age of 18 and someone over the age of 18. And it sickens my stomach. It sickens my stomach that this mother did this to her, to two children who came out of her body. That she did what she did to them and then passed them around to her effing friends. And the one son because his brother told him that their childhood was different, loved the mother because he thought he was supposed to. He had no clue about what had happened. It's when I went to watch it, because I watched it over the weekend. When I went to watch it, I wasn't ready for that. I was not ready for, them basically being trafficked by their mom. Because that's what happened. She was trafficking them. The way that it happened is she would take one of the boys with her to a friend's house. She would eat dinner and drink wine, leave them there, and come back and get them in the morning. And whatever happened to them, happened to them. And she would only take one at a time to different people's houses. She has to be burning in hell right now. She has to be burning in hell right now. Has to be, y'all. You know it wasn't people that look like us. Y'all know that, right? Y'all know. You know. I mean, I'm not saying that we don't have people within our community, within our ethnicity, that are capable of doing this sick ass stuff. But this is not how we normally operate. Because, people of color, we're kind of spiritual people, even, before the diaspora. And some ethnicities, they don't have the same feelings. And some people shouldn't have kids, but they don't have the same feelings for their offspring. They have strange feelings for their offspring. And I'm definitely not saying it don't happen in us, because it's the big secret. It's always the big secret. People always are very hush-hush about this particular behavior. In families, in the community, there's always that aunt or uncle that that people want to keep their kids away from. You always have, we unfortunately have situations where it's the reverse, where it's the father that is abusing the children and the mother is turning a blind eye. Whereas in this situation, it was the father turning a blind eye to a sexually deviant wife. Deviant behavior. Deviant behavior. It is deviant behavior for you to be attracted to your own child. It is deviant behavior. I'm trying to be very careful with my words, because y'all know certain things they won't let you monetize. So I'm trying to be careful with my words. And Did y'all notice, if you did see my video earlier today on Amanda Gorman, on Amanda Gorman, that YouTube cut off the comments on that video. And I think the reason that there are no comments allowed on that video is because there's a picture at the beginning of the video of her and her twin sister as babies. Their mom's holding them, which is, really interesting, because I've had other videos that had children in them, as part of, the landscape, and they didn't do that. So I don't know. That's fine. That wasn't my reason. They let me monetize it, but hey, Sinister Cyborg. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like that rain. Yeah, I like that rain background I have with the purple raindrops. But there's nothing. There is nothing normal about any adult being attracted to a child. I'm sorry, it's just not. Okay? And, please don't try to go pull out your Bible and see how young women were, in their different time, and we didn't know what we know now. What we know now is just because a young girl starts her cycle does not mean she's ready for anything else. Because did you guys know that there are 8-year-old girls who start their cycle? Are they ready? Are they ready to, does that mean that they're a woman? Absolutely not. 8 and 9-year-olds. Matter of fact, I grew up with one of my friends growing up back on the East Coast. Yeah. She started her cycle at the age of 9. And all it did is, yeah. She was fast-tailed. She was fast-tailed. Because, somebody convinced her that because she had a cycle that she was a woman. And some people believe that. But the truth is that we are not fully developed up here until we're in our mid-20s. So if you're not even developed fully up here, it doesn't matter what's going on inside of your body. Because if you're not developed up here, you're not emotionally able to handle it. And that's part of the reason, probably why the one sibling that remembered everything, at 18, when he remembered everything and his brother did not remember everything, he was not developed enough for him to be able to handle what had happened to them. Not really. But when a child's innocence is taken from them, it reshapes the rest of their life. And for the one brother who had it wiped, from his memory, even though it was wiped from his memory, he knew that, something was off, because he and his brother didn't sleep in the house. They didn't have a key to get in the house. There were certain parts of the house that they were not allowed to go into as adults. So it was just a kind of crazy situation. Are you going to come down here now? Come on, because I'm about to get off. Come on and say hi. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. Okay. Yeah. You guys watch, if you have Netflix and have an opportunity, watch that movie, the documentary, Tell Me Who I Am. It came out in October of last year, and it had been spinning around, and I finally, said, let me go watch it this weekend, and it was excellent. I don't know why it took me so long to watch it. Well, I know why it took me so long to watch it, because I knew kind of what it was about. I just didn't believe it was as sick as it actually was. As sick as it actually was with those brothers. So, okay, I'm going to stop with that. Now I'm going to end with a little bit about the YouTube stuff. Okay. So, there's a whole bunch of ish going on the platform. And as I said before, several occasions, stop bringing people's kids into this stuff. Stop threatening to call CPS. Stop doxing children on the platform. Make your issues with the person the issues with. And in regards to the content creator who just got her kids back from CPS, let me tell y'all something. Okay. It took her over a year to get her kids back. Please believe me, if she's over there doing any kind of antics, anything going on, especially because she's claiming that everything was unfounded, allegedly, do you guys seriously believe that they're not watching her every move, and that she's not going to have surprise checks going on for a minute? Do not think that because she got her kids back, that her case has been closed. Now, I've already said what I had to say in regards to her being on the platform all the time and, doing all this nonsense. I don't think that's winning for her. I really don't. If this platform is about being business for you, then make it business for you, ma'am. Make it business for you. Do your cards or whatever it is that you're doing, and stop, all of this back and forth with all the different content creators and making yourself out to be a victim. I don't think you're a victim. The whole situation with your kids had absolutely nothing to do with the platform. You lost your kids because you lost your kids. Okay? And it took you as long to get your kids back because you were obviously not doing everything that you should have been doing. And again, I will say, in most situations, kids are not immediately removed. If your children were immediately removed, it was because either it was an awful situation, or, I don't know, here's a thought. Allegedly, your children reported you. And mandated reporters at their school reported it from there. So, it is what it is. But let's not bring the kids into all of this stuff, you know. So, how about you stop bringing other people's kids, stop posting their kids, stop doing all of that stuff, and everybody else stop doing it too. Okay? And then, oh, here's another message to the mothers with autistic children. Okay. If you got a kid with autism and you are going after other people's kids, bitch, what's wrong with you? Because then you're a victim when they come after your kids. Stop it. Because I want to defend you, ladies, but don't bring the kids, especially if you've got a special needs kid. Don't go after other people's kids. And yeah, they shouldn't be going after your kids either. Everybody keep the kids out of everything. The kids aren't content creators. The kids are not content creators. And let's stop worrying about what kind of mothers everybody is off the platform. Now, you know, I mean, I know you guys are curious because some of these women are on here, you know, 15 hours out of the day. Okay? But, you know, maybe they're superwoman. And while they're on here, they're also doing stuff for their kids. You know? But really, it's really not our problem. We don't even, most of us are not even in the same city with the people who you're complaining about being bad mothers. Let's keep it to what's on. Let's keep it on the damn platform, people, and stop digging into people's personal lives. I'm so sick of y'all with the CPS calls and the dragging people's children. That's weak. That to me is you weak. Because if you're going after people's kids because you know that's below the belt, yeah, it's damn below the belt. But if you've got to go to people's kids, that means that your roasting game or your dragging game ain't too good. If you got to go to the kids. You know, because kids ain't do nothing to you. Isn't it the parent who's the content creator, who's on here twerking up and down the streets, that you have an issue with? So keep your issue with them. Keep your issue with them. I'm just saying. You know, and you know, maybe I'm the only autism mom that's not in the beef sector of Black YouTube. I don't know. You know, but ladies, do better. I know in some of these cases they're going after your kid first, but if everybody stops bringing the damn kids into it, we wouldn't even have this issue. We wouldn't even have this issue. So let's do better. Let's all do better. Keep your dragging to the person on the effing platform. How about that? How about that? I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm out of here, you guys. You know, I'll see you guys on Friday twice. Twice on Friday. Because first I will have Not So Random Chat. I believe I started at 10 o'clock, at 9 o'clock on Friday night, midnight, my time. And then right behind that, we're going to be going over to the Purple Diva Den. And I'm going to do a late night over there And I believe that starts at 10:30 on Friday night. They're both scheduled already. But I'm trying to drop something on one of the two channels between now and Friday. Because I literally have got to get all this content out of editing onto the platform. So you guys can look at it. I've got several, like, just random vlogs from all white parties from last year that I'm going to drop, and some other stuff. Anyway, you guys, we're about to get out of here. I'm glad you guys like what I did with the channel banner. I'm still working on a trailer. Still working on a trailer for this channel. It makes me feel so bad that I actually have a trailer for my new channel, and I've never made a channel trailer for this channel. Oh, FYI, go check out my latest spoken word on the Purple Diva Den, Cross Your Mind. That dropped yesterday. So, a couple things out there for you guys to see. I'll be back on Friday for another live. Hopefully it won't be as serious as, you know, talking about that documentary, but no. I felt compelled. I'll see y'all on Friday. Until then, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. I'm out of here, guys. Peace. Well, guys, that's it for tonight's Not So Random Chat. But I'll see you guys the next time. Until then, peace and blessings from the West Side. I'm out. Peace.